So anchor locker here. Let me see if I can get to it. There's the anchor locker. So fair amount of space on the front here. So I'm all the way here. It's hitting me right at my knee. So if you so pretty decent thing here to kind of stand up on. So you can see there's the hatch for the bunk, and you can kind of sit in these kind of side areas here when you're fishing, or when you're running and you're just kind of going from spot to spot. So that's kind of cool. As you can see here, I added a wedge. There's the 4-degree wedge there. I think it's coming up there. So it's one thing I added to the Garmin. Here's the windshield wipers there, and then here's the port side. So I'll probably add a fishing rod holder here, probably, and then maybe even one somewhere here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because when I do that, I can't really get out too well. So I might just have to put just two in the front there where we have room. I mean, maybe I can put one here at the end and then just have it kind of in a 45 degree going towards the bow. That might be the thing to do. So put one here where you could still get access in here, and then just have that pointing this way. So you can, when you're drifting, you can have one at the bow, one here, and then you could be have one here, and then maybe one off the back. So I guess when I start drifting and stuff for halibut and rockfish or whatever, I'll work that out and see what feels best. All right, so inside, jump seats. So on both sides there, they're all one piece. There's USB and 12 volt on both sides for the jump seat personnel. There you go. I went with 2 speakers. So these 2 speakers initially came with it. Here's the Fusion radio. There you go. So I only had the 2. It didn't sound good enough, and so I installed those 2. They were already pre-cut, so that was pretty easy. And because I bought the 2, or I opted for the 2 with the Fusion system, I thought I had to add wire. I had to run wire for these speakers. Turns out that they were actually hidden away already in that little compartment section, so it was practically plug and play. So that was kind of nice. I didn't have to run any speaker wire back to the Fusion unit and all that. So you see, one thing that others you won't see is this guy here that I added. This one comes with the unit, with the Stabicraft one in the front. It's touch. It's a Helm Marine, I think. You do one for on, and then one off, and then it's even got the red. And so when I had this on at night, it only really did the front section here, and so I added the same exact one here on the back. See there. And what I did was I tapped off of this 12 volt line, and you can see there, that's where I did it. I just basically cut it and spliced in the 12 volt line for that guy there. 3 holes drilled into the top here, and voila, done. So I really like that. I think that's really cool, because What I also like about it is when you're at the dock or getting ready and you're going into the cabin, it's nice to just have a spot, boom, right there to turn on. So, all right, so bolster seats, captain seat on both sides, there and there. You do have to kind of position them in a certain way in order to flip them around. So you got to almost put it forward as much as you can, and then you can spin it. So that's something I had to learn there. Here's the little thing that I was talking about. So there's the compartment storage area. It could be fish box, could be this is just gonna be storage for me, but it goes way in there. And then you can see there's the opening for the drain. So you got to make sure you plug that guy, or else this whole compartment will fill up with water when you're running. It's not so much of an issue because if it overfills, it'll just drain into the deck bilge. But you got to make sure to spare these guys. Okay, so you just put them in, tighten the screw down, and then it expands and seals. So yeah, I got to put one there. And then, if I want to, I got to put one here for that drain. So those are the two locations where I would have plugs. The ones in the back are the self-contained plugs. They don't pop out, but I'm not sure how I like those. I kind of like the metal screw that you kind of put in there. But anyways. Alright, so let me see if I can get out of the glare there. So there's your two controls, the throttle for the 250, which is on top, trolling motor on the bottom. I did see some dealers where they put the trolling one on a bracket that can move back and forth, and then that allows you to move this guy up and down. So it clears this thing. So these move. Let's see if I can do it here. You see, these come down, and then this makes a larger space here. I don't know how often I'll actually ever use the cabin for sleeping. I mean, it's a possibility, but this is really more of a day fishing boat for me. You know, maybe someone who gets sick, or maybe if I'm sturgeon fishing, I might use that. Someone might want to take a little nap, and then I'll just put those two covers, put them back on. I really like the covers. I might actually take them out, and when I need them for sleeping or for napping, I'll put them in when there's a possibility of it. Otherwise, maybe I'll just put some plywood covered with a carpet, and then just cut them out so that it matches the footprint of those cushions. And then now I have just extra storage space, which isn't gonna screw up these nice cushions that come with the boat. So you can see there, this comes with a porta potty. I like that. A few months back, I live in the San Jose, San Francisco area. I actually took a flight to Washington and was looking at a 2500, and there was just too many issues I saw with it, so my dad and I did not go for it. But it had a built-in or a plumbed-in head. You know, they're up in Washington, so they get a lot of rain, and I guess he had some leaking issues, and that whole area was just flooded, and that was probably the reason why we didn't buy it, even though it probably was a non-issue, because we figured out where we figured out where it was coming from, and we could seal it. I just didn't. We didn't feel comfortable pulling the trigger on a $125,000 boat, not knowing what other issues there could or could not be. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, throttle's there. Start the engines here and down there. So the tops are carpeted. Got nice rails here. More grab rail here. A lot of storage here and down there. And that's the same for the port side. You see there, lots of storage. There's my fire extinguisher there. No light in the cabin, but you do get, I think if you get that, you get a toilet paper roll dispenser. That, you can see here, there's the screw there and another screw thing there. There's 4 screws. This whole panel pops out, and that gives you access to the dash panel on the back of the MFD and all that. So there's your 2 lock things for the glass, and then there's storage under all of these things. Under all of the cushions there's storage. So decent amount of storage. I got my in the front there, I got my 4 life vests. So I've been considering putting a light bar underneath here somewhere. Yeah, underneath here. So we'll see if I do that. That way there's light for the cabin, for the bunk area. All right, so I turned on the screen here for you. So this is a 16-inch Garmin 8616. I got the autopilot and then the Honda digital gauge. There's my Maxwell winch, Menco tabs, 12 volt, and USB. There's a USB 12 volt for the co-captain's chair and another grab rail. Cool. Cup holder there. Cup holder there. This one is peeling, so I gotta figure that out there. My B&G V60 radio there. This one also comes with I bought a wireless unit, so when I'm out in the back there and I want to talk on the radio, I don't have to run in here to talk. I can just go on the wireless radio. So that's kind of cool. I got autopilot, and this is the autopilot remote. So what's going to be nice about this is when I'm trolling with the 9.9 kicker, I can actually set it on autopilot, and then I could move the main engine, which is tied to the 9.9, or 9.9 tied to the main engine, and I actually can move the Honda kicker motor that way. And then I got the Trollmaster set up so that I can control the throttle off of the 9.9 with a remote also. And I believe this one here, you can point. I haven't tried it yet, but you can point, and then the autopilot will go in that particular heading. So I haven't tried that yet, but I think that's gonna be cool if I can if that actually works the way I think it's gonna work. So you see here, real nice big screen. I think 16 is the max you can do on this boat. But what I like about it is on the combos, you know, you can have both your transducer, which I have disabled. You want to keep that disabled just so you're not overheating the transducers, especially the Airmar, the 1K one. That one gets pretty hot, what I'm hearing. And then obviously your navigation there. So, and then obviously everything is linked in terms of gauges and stuff. So I think my Honda's set up here, the autopilot's here, active cabin. I think my fusion system is even here. You see there? Yep. So it's tied even here. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, I have two transducers. And what else is here? Yeah, so the Garmin one that I decided to do is so that I can use the clear view function. Or if I don't need the crazy 1K transducer, I can run the 600 watt Garmin. So here's the control panel. So transom lights. So transom lights, the cockpit lights. Cockpit lights is the back. Transom lights I don't have. Lights there is for the side. So let me turn that on. I'll show you. So those blue guys right there spans the length of the walkthrough. So that's blue. Then obviously the cockpit lights is this guy here. You see there? I don't have anchor lights, nav lights, that does the red and green. And then wiper port, deck wash. I don't have tuna tubes and I don't have a bait tank pump. Well, I mean I do, but I don't have it connected to here. And then bilge pump, this is up is on, down is auto, and then center is off basically. So this one has an 8-person, 1320 pound Coast Guard rating. Max 300 horsepower. So that's what that looks like. Little step thing here, so when you have it bolstered up like this and you want to stand, you would just sit there. You would just stand on the deck there. When you have this down, that little thing right there, the little step, is real nice to just put your feet up on. Alright, so forward swept windows. These open up this way, like this. So if you want to get some air in here. If you only got the 2 speakers, you might be disappointed. If you're in the front, it's probably not a big deal. But when I added these 2 in the back there, and I didn't even add an amp. I think the Fusion receiver has a 70 watt max per speaker, 280 watt total internal amplifier, and that sounded loud enough in my opinion. So here's my radio. This thing's incredibly hard to take off. I might just leave it off. This thing sucks. Anyways, that's what it looks like in there. I'm not going to try to do this on the video, but that's what that looks like. No hailer, don't need it. One thing I don't like on this is there's no horn. So I can add a horn, and then I can probably use this spare as the horn and then kind of wire it all up. But one of the issues with this boat is when you want to install something on the top, you got to kind of, in order to wire it through, you know, these little hole sections here. You know, you can see here. So that's kind of where the wires are coming from. You got to unscrew all these little. There's a bunch of them. I can't remember how many there are, but there's enough of them. You got to do all of them, and then this whole top kind of comes off, and then that's where you can maybe add a horn if you want to add a front light, like a searchlight, or you wanted to add infrared, like a FLIR or something like that. You would have to probably do that. You gotta take all these little screws off. Probably I mean, that's how it comes to us from New Zealand anyways, and then the dealer has to basically install this whole top and then add all this sort of gasketing material or kind of epoxy. So I mean, it can be done. I just didn't want to go through the hassle of that. So, which is why I was glad I didn't have to do anything for these speakers. So everything was already wiring inside there for that. So I don't have a compass. I've thought about adding a compass. My concern is twofold. One, I don't know how the compass is going to play with this whole unit, and whether or not magnetically this was going to be a problem. And if I was going to add it, I would like to add it maybe like right here, so it's right in front of me. But it feels like here would be better, right in the center, or maybe even here. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. My backup radio has a has a compass sort of heading thing, so that's sort of my backup. So if I ever lose power or lose the ability to see that kind of stuff, and I can still get home, then I can probably use the radio, my backup radio, which is a Standard Horizon backup radio. So yeah, so grab rail there for the co-captain chair. All this you can wash, and then obviously it drains out to the back there. So good amount of space. This is much bigger than the UltraCraft that I was captaining at one point for a buddy of mine, or my dad's friend. So a lot more space here. Obviously you can use all this space here, the walkthrough. I personally think it's really easy to fish out the front. I mean, I just come over here, just kind of side shuffle here, and then right in this section you can really fish pretty good. I mean, I'm sitting here fishing and it's up at my mid thigh. So I mean, that's pretty good in terms of, you know, feeling safe. I don't feel like I'm gonna tip over or anything. So I really like that. And then obviously, if you're lazy, I'll just sit in that spot right there, and then I'll just fish. I think that's kind of cool. I might add a rod holder of some sort here. Don't know exactly where I would do that yet, but rod holder, like 1 or 2 rod holders would be kind of cool up here. Don't know where I'd put it. Maybe here, maybe there. I don't know. That's something for a later date, I guess. So, and then obviously you could probably add some storage here on the top if you wanted to. I've really thought about adding rails to go across, maybe using this space to put additional crab pots of some sort. I don't know. No, just something to think about for later on if I feel like I need to add more space. So that US flag, I added that. So that's an added thing for the boat. So one of the things that I noticed is there's no side cushions here. So when you're sort of, you know, sitting here like this, you know, so just gives people an idea. It's hitting, you know, as I'm standing, I'm 5'8", and it's hitting me right at my stuff. You know what I mean? So pretty high side, so very safe feeling. So I like that a lot. One thing that might be an issue is obviously, you know, gaffing a fish. If you get a really big fish, how are you going to get this over the rail? If you got a really big fish, like a 150, 200 pound, you know, bluefin or something. So, but yeah, that's the walkthrough. I think I went through everything that I wanted to go through. Kind of sitting here. One thing I thought about adding, these have some sort of shock, but it's not adjustable. And I've tried to kind of jump and sit on it and I don't know. I'm not sure how well that's going to do. I don't even know if I really need it. So until I get out into the large swell or a decent swell and feel how the boat hits as it re-enters the water, I don't know how I feel about those pedestals. Those are Soft Rider pedestals from New Zealand. The ones I would love to replace it with are the Shocks X8, V8, something like that. And those are like the cat's meow in terms of pedestal suspension. So only problem is those are a couple grand each, and I don't know if I'm willing to spend $4 grand for that. So hopefully these do just fine, and I don't feel like I have to replace them. My dad's kind of sensitive to bumps and stuff like that, so or anyone with a back problem, to be quite honest, is not going to like that. So, but yeah, so that's the tour of the boat, the walkthrough, all the various modifications that I've made, the choices I made in terms of radio, location of the radio, location of the MFD, things I've been thinking about, all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that I thought about doing is, because this thing is kind of weird in terms of, like, I might actually replace this with a cutting board, or put another cutting board on top, or maybe I'll just actually use it as its cutting board, and then when I mess it all up, I'll just replace it, because that really kind of annoys me that this wasn't fitted perfectly. So you can see there, it just nah, not good. So I'll probably fix that at some point. But I really like the 3/4 inch, the 3/4 live well fish box. I heard for most people the center one is just fine for most people, but you know, if I'm fishing for big halibut, or I get a lot of salmon, let's say I get 4, 5, 6 salmon, I could put it in here. This, oh, that's another thing, this is not insulated, so I probably won't put it in here anyways. I use those Reliable Fishing kill bags, and I'll probably just use those, maybe even store them down here as I'm running. Maybe put one here on the starboard or port side, one on the starboard side, and then just to balance the boat out. So the jump seats here, these feel good. Don't need, if I think I need a back cushion here or there, but that's more of a nice to have. So yeah, that's the tour of the boat. If you have any questions, let me know. Put it in the comment section. Send me a message. Otherwise, hope you got a lot out of this pretty long video. I'm kind of wordy, but I think this is probably the most comprehensive walkthrough video I've seen so far. So cheers.